Welcome to the Dance Reel podcast. I'm Kate Histon. Before we dive into this episode, I would love a favour from you. To help us bring some wonderful guests to our show and grow, please subscribe or follow this channel, like, comment and share with a friend. That would be a great help. Thank you so much. Today on the Dance Reel podcast, I'm joined by Tannos, one of Australia's leading commercial choreographers and creative directors. In this conversation, we explore the realities of building a sustainable career in the performing arts, the evolution of training culture, creative risk, resilience, and what young dancers entering the industry today genuinely need to understand. This episode was sponsored by Master Dancer Mindset. Know yourself, be yourself, and express yourself on and off the stage. Welcome to my podcast, Mr. Tannos.
Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure.
It is actually such a treat for us Dance Reel people to have you on this podcast and get all your wisdom and creativity and can we say humour?
Yeah, of course. I think that's probably the thing you should say first.
Humour.
And then wisdom at the very end, just in small writing, in air quotes.
I'm loving seeing your career go from strength to strength, and you are known in Australia and internationally as a leading sensation in our industry, and you've just totally earned that right. You are in your own lane and you continue to innovate.
Thank you so much.
And so speaking of that, let's start at the beginning as to what influenced you to enter this world of dance and from when you started to where you are now.
So you want to go like right back to when I started dancing?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
That would be great to hear.
Yep. Okay, so I was about 10 years old. I've got a twin sister, which not many people know. So it's me and my twin growing up, just the two of us. And growing up in the Sutherland Shire, which is funnily enough where I live again now. I don't know if you know the Sutherland Shire, like Cronulla, Sutherland, that kind of area. What you did in the 90s was, the boy did soccer and the girl did dancing, or the boy did insert sport here and then the girl did dancing, basically. That was just the cliche thing to do. But I was horrific at soccer. I was that boy that was like running the wrong way, like staring up at the clouds, like lying down on the field, dancing, just terrible. No hand-eye coordination. And my sister, adversely as well, was, and she'll disagree with this, but I'll die on this hill. She was a terrible dancer, just very rigid, not much of a showman. So one day we went to a birthday party, which was a Spice Girls themed birthday party. And I was the only boy that was invited. And so my dad had this great idea to dress me up as Elvis Presley for some reason. It made no sense with the concept of the party, but he's a big Elvis fan. So I dressed up in the white jumpsuit with the rhinestones and the guitar and the sideburns and the curly hair fringe. And I was like on the dance floor, right in the middle of the dance floor, doing all the Elvis Presley moves, the hips and the knees and the shoulders and, with my guitar. And a dance teacher came up to my mum, who happened to be at the party, and said, your boy needs to get into dancing. He's a natural. And she was like, oh, I'll float the idea with him, but I don't know how he'll feel about it. And sure enough, on the way home, she floated the idea with me and I jumped on it straight away. Like I'd been waiting for her to say it or something. And I was like, yes, please. But I just had one caveat. For some reason, I didn't want to dance with girls. I was like too afraid.
Fair enough.
A bit too shy. So I said, if you can find me a all boys funk, it was called funk at the time, hip hop class, then I'll do it. And I did. And the rest is history.
Amazing.
Yeah. And so that was like 25 years ago.
Wow. So I first saw you on So You Think You Can Dance. That's when I still remember the bicycle dance. And it's like, wow, this Stephen, he's pretty cool. He's amazing. And you had your own unique style. Can you describe what it was like from being a student to becoming professional, some of the challenges you faced and what you overcame?
Yeah. The main challenge I had was I didn't have great technique. And I think there's this misconception that I have amazing. I've got sound technique for like jazz, but my feet are horrific. My posture's very bulldogish. So I had a hard time melding with other dancers. And not because I was a rebel or anything, but just because I just didn't quite have the skill set. But what I did have was a very natural way of performing, and I had a very strong sense of self.
Yeah.
I didn't perhaps know that at the time, but I guess I did looking back. So for me to like, and I don't want to use the word conform, but I guess I will because it's the easiest word I can think of right now. But for me to conform with other dancers and to kind of, blend was a challenging thing, and a thing that I had to learn as I went, and as I started booking jobs and taking direction from choreographers and directors and getting a lot of notes. I got a lot of notes, because I just was a little bit unruly, not on purpose, but I just think that's kind of my natural state.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of trial and error, and I was spending a lot of time one-on-one with choreographers. Kelly Abbey was a huge one for me. Like, she kind of plucked me from obscurity and saw something in me,
Yeah.
and really took some chances on me. Yeah, it was especially on So You Think You Can Dance. We did a group number on the top 20 week, on the first week. I don't know if you remember it. It was to that Let Me Think About It.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a very iconic number.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yep.
Yep.
And she did like this Bob Fosse, Rich Man's Frug kind of style. And I'd never met her before. We'd never worked together before, but she took a chance on me and, cast me as like the lead dancer in it. And there was a lot of back and forth with her, and a lot of taking notes, not taking them on, and then trying to take them on, and then her spending a bit of time with me. And so that was a huge confidence booster for me. And it's amazing. Kelly Abbey's a friend of mine now, which is so incredible, and still a mentor, obviously. But it was people like that took a chance on me and really, helped me find my way and helped me to believe in myself, I think every dancer, creative, whatever, needs a couple of mentors in their life to take a chance on them and to take them under their wing. And she was definitely one.
And you recently posted about your time, and you toured with Cats. Is that right?
Yeah.
And you were talking about your feet in that. What time of your life was that next to So You Think You Can Dance? And then what came out of that?
Yeah, so Cats was my first professional job.
Yeah.
So I booked Cats when I was sitting my final exams in year 12. So 2006. So just before I sat my HSC, which is what we called it at the time, I'm sure you remember, high school certificate. It's called something else now.
Yeah.
I auditioned as like an open call audition.
Yeah.
Didn't think anything of it because, again, my technique. And, if you know Cats, it's a very technical show, and feet are of paramount importance because they're really revealed. You're in a unitard and basically jazz shoes.
Yeah.
So I went to this audition just for experience, and kept getting through every round. And I was like, oh, what's happening here? And sure enough, got the phone call. You're going to be casted in the show. And this was just before my HSC. So you think I focused on my exams after that? I was already not locked in. So I was even further removed from being locked in. So it was pretty funny. So then I ended up doing Cats straight out of high school for like a year and a half. And then a month or two after that, the So You Think You Can Dance auditions came around, and threw my hat in the ring for that. And sure enough,
yes,
there we were. So it was very, I don't want to say luck. It was luck for sure, but I think luck is there for you when you're ready for it. It's preparation, meeting opportunity, and all that kind of stuff. But it was a snowball kind of effect. So it was Cats, and then So You Think You Can Dance, and then straight from that was Fame, the musical.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 punch.
How did that feel?
Incredible. It was a little bit jarring though, because I don't want to paint this picture that that's what having a career in the dance world is like. That was a pretty lucky scenario. 3 jobs straight out of school, one after the other. And I think after that was a bit of a challenging time, because then the work wasn't as consistent. And then I was more in this state of trying to then find my way after being away for so long, and in this bubble of invincibility. And then I was like, okay, now I'm in the hustle of it. Now I'm trying to find jobs, and now I'm trying to assimilate to this, that, and the other. But that's when the choreography stuff started to happen after Fame, when I was about 21, 22 years old. Because I realized that I loved being a dancer, but I had something else and more I wanted to say. And I had a very strong sense of self. And I think I decided that I could explore that in a different way. And the only way that I knew how was to start creating my own movement and starting to get friends together and making choreography and putting together little videos and
And I
things of that
remember
nature.
that winner piece. Oh my goodness, what was it? You and your mates did it. It was look like it was in like a warehouse. What was it? What was it again? It was
A
just I
video?
think I wa
Oh,
yes,
dance off.
yes. I
Yeah,
watched
yeah,
it
yeah.
so many times. I think all
Oh,
of
thank you.
Australia did and the whole world did, and we're like, "This is just so good."
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's pretty
was
crazy.
that you being innovative and just putting it out there and going, "Hey, let's, like, make some work?"
Yeah,
How did that
yeah,
come
yeah.
about?
Yeah, that was like the second or third big video I made.
Okay.
And yeah, look, it was just out of necessity. I wanted to get into choreography more and directing, and I had these ideas. And I had a partner at the time as well who was really good at helping me with those and helping me bring them to life and helping me style them and push
Yeah.
me a little bit. And yeah, they were just things I made off my own bat with my own money, with my own friends, found a videographer who I ended up working with a lot, found some music producers, and yeah, learned how to put something together. And those, as expensive as they were and stressful as they were, like they were very, very pivotal for me, like lessons in how to put something together
Mm.
and see it through right through to the very end. And I wouldn't trade those experiences for the world.
So, throughout so far, just talking to you, there's this important piece within yourself, and I don't know if you can name the personality trait. It's almost like you've got this own sense of agency, this own independent part within yourself
Yep.
that cannot be tarnished with.
Yeah, I think especially the ignorance of
Mm.
youth at that time was very important for me because it didn't have any preconceived notions as to like who I my reputation or this, that, and the other. Like it was kind of bliss because I could just create from a place of um, reckless abandon, where I've had to relearn how to feel that feeling again later in my life. Now that I start to put this pressure on myself, and it's all your own mental battles. But I've definitely had times where I've felt challenged in regards to putting myself out there again and again and again because I start to feel the expectation, the pressure of it. And again, it's all stuff I make up in my own head because none of that really exists.
It's
Yeah,
refreshing to
yeah,
hear that because, it's almost like the human condition maybe, but I've
totally.
seen you
Yeah.
reinvent yourself, not reinvent yourself, oh, that's probably not the wrong word, you've always been who you are, but
Yeah,
maybe
I'm good. I'm good
okay,
with
yeah,
that. Yeah,
again and again,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it's like, "What's Stephen doing now? Wow." And it's pretty
yeah.
amazing, and so, I'm just thinking about that piece within you. I don't know if you wanna give it a name, but I'm wondering about
Stupidity.
I'm wondering how, like, defiance, I don't know, like, there's just this part of you that's like, like, this individual
Yeah,
part of you. How did that play out in your childhood with regard to your parents? Did they notice that? Did they protect that? What,
yeah,
like, and I'm probably talking to some, I'm probably talking more about the ballet industry that you can get some parents that might be a little bit too involved in their dance experience. I just want to know what that was like for you because it seems, I don't
yep.
know that, but it just seems like there's this part of
No,
you that wasn't spoiled from it, like as in fun.
yeah, no, I was like, I had the best, great childhood, and my parents kept the dancing at an arm's distance. They facilitated it, and they were very supportive, but they also let me have my own journey and experience with it,
Amazing.
which I think is
Yeah.
crucial. And you see a lot of now, especially with social media, and
Mm.
a lot of I'm just gonna try and phrase this
Yeah.
carefully. A lot of where I'm
Yeah, you
going.
can say it.
A lot of helicopter kind of
Yeah.
parenting with it.
Mm.
The word is stage mum. I don't want to just say mum, stage
Yeah.
parent. Um, and I think that crushes your child's ability to have their own sense of agency
Yes.
and actually decide whether they want it for
Mm.
themselves. I think you have to be able to find it for yourself.
Yeah.
You need facilitation and support, but you don't need someone to be hypercritical, and that's for your teachers.
Absolutely. I've seen, experienced and witnessed as a teacher that over management can really crush a child. So it's almost like they can lose their
Yeah,
sense of uniqueness and instinct to respond to the creativity of our industry and then become almost like little
Yep.
robots that might fit into a company, but who are you? Where is your heart and
Or
soul?
they become used to mummy or daddy being there for them
Yeah.
always and speaking up for them, and like, which you need to be able to have that sense of self and sense of fight built within yourself without having to rely on anybody else for it. And I think that that's crucial. And I think you see it time and time again, like those kids who end up, who are very talented, but have these situations where they're overly nurtured, or nurtured's the wrong word, but
Managed?
kind of forced into things, overly
Yeah.
managed. Yeah. They end up hating
Yeah.
it. It's like, you can like write the script for it time and time and time and time and time again. Like it's,
That was my story.
yeah. I was?
Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
tapped out.
I see you ended up hating it?
Yeah, I did 2 years of full-time classical ballet. That was my thing, and there was this pivotal moment where I was performing at the City of Sydney, Lilac Fairy, and just
Oh yeah.
I had an overly managed mother moment, and that night I quit. It was just it had just taken the love of it from me, and so I do
Yeah.
often speak out about how parents can best support their child, let the teachers be the teachers, and just enjoy watching them dance.
100%. Yeah. My mum she would give me a bit of feedback every now and then if I'd ask for it. She'd be like, "Oh, that wasn't your best," kind of thing, but not in a mean way. Just like she was
Yeah.
honest because I asked for it. But it was never like, "We're going to get in the studio tomorrow and fix this." And you see a lot of that now.
Yeah.
It's like, stay out of it. You got to stay out of
Wonder
it.
if Instagram has a bit to do with that, with the parent managed
A lot.
accounts, and then, I get the whole
Yeah.
advocating for your child, but if it's too much, it's just like,
Oh, they're all becoming little content
Yeah.
creators now. And look, I get it. I understand, because you can build careers out of that stuff now. I get it. I'm in that world myself.
Yeah.
But I think there is a point where it's definitely too early.
I agree with you, and it's definitely it's probably a whole other conversation, but yeah.
Yeah.
So with regard to students, I'm thinking of ones that you train a lot, right, that are full-time, that want careers. You would see a lot. What's important with regard to their mindset that you might see that makes them professional, or what stands out to you as a choreographer and director?
I love dancers that have a sense of self, but also take direction. I think that was always my mantra. I love dancers that are unique and understand themselves and can be collaborative when required to be, and also know when to take a back seat and just be a vessel. I think you can get too much of either direction. Dancers that have too many expectations, especially now, I think they know what they like a bit more because they have so much more access to it. And if what you're giving them isn't exactly what they love, then they kind of shut down. You see that side. And then you see the dancers that fade into the background and don't speak up, and you can teach them for a whole year and you don't even know their names, like that kind of situation. So I love someone who's right in the middle, is respectful and has boundaries and can take direction really well, but also has a very strong sense of self and can bring themselves to the party and be a part of the process as well.
And so what does making it as a professional dancer today in Australia look like?
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's very different. I think it's a very, very different landscape to even when I was a professional, which really in hindsight I'm 36. I started dancing professionally when I was 17-ish. So 20 years, that is a long time. Tried to make it sound like it wasn't. Yeah, look, we had the ability to jump from one job to another. I remember there was a time when I was performing in an opera, and then I would do a music video that weekend, and then the next week it was a TV appearance. And now you're lucky if there's 4 or 5, 6 big jobs a year.
Yeah.
So you see, even the top pros are having to work other jobs, work teaching jobs, have other sources of income because it's not manageable. That's where I think the social media thing can actually be handy because it allows you access to other avenues of revenue. But you also see now a lot of dancers move abroad more so now than ever. Go to Europe, go to LA, more so Europe now. I feel like is the place, London, namely. But yeah, I think it's a different landscape because in a good way and a bad way. The good way is that you definitely have an ability now to create a brand for yourself, which I think is the really, really positive thing about social media, and just get yourself seen a lot more easily. And the bridge now between a job here and a job overseas is far more connected than what it used to be. But what makes it difficult now is that the workload here is far less. And there's so many more dancers now than there ever was, it feels like anyway, because there's 30 full-time schools all churning out 50, 60, 70, 80 dancers a year into the industry.
Yeah.
And there's only work for a handful of them, you know?
It's a problem.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's tough. But that's where I think it's important that these places are educating. And I think a lot of places are doing that. They're starting to anyway. Starting to educate the dancers into this idea that it's not just this one option.
Yeah.
You hear dancers go, I want to be a backup dancer. I want to be a backup dancer. I want to be a back. And like, that's the only thing they're saying. It's like, okay, sure. Everyone does. But there's 13 other things on either side that you can do alongside this dream, that can support this dream. And who knows, you might love this thing over here. Yeah. And if you're not open to even trying it, then you're just closing off the door to an opportunity that might actually be the thing that you end up doing for the rest of your life. So I think I'm always telling dancers to just try. Yeah. Get singing lessons. Don't ignore tap dancing. Work hard in all the genres you hate. Yeah. Start choreographing. Play. Get a strong sense of yourself. Like, there's so many things that I think you can be doing to open yourself up to having much more of a fighting chance.
And take those opportunities. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Take them all. Yeah. Every single one. Eat them up. Yeah.
And you mentioned before with your career how you've had moments, if I can put into my own words, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, where you've had successful points and then the pressure maybe to keep up with the success. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Can you talk
yeah.
about what that has felt like for you? How have you experienced that and what have you done to overcome it?
I think just life in general, but life in this line of work, I think is heightened as well. It's extreme highs and extreme lows, I feel like. And I think to have longevity is not about just having the highs and lows. It's about how you manage them and how you can try and like close them in a little bit more. I think too much of like euphoria is bad, and then too much down in the dumps is bad. I think if there's a way you can start to bring them in a little bit more, and I'm not saying make the highs less high, but try and understand the fact that the highs are also going to be followed by a little bit of a low period, and how you can manage the transition between the two, I think, is what life teaches you. And the only way to understand how to do that is through lived experience. I've struggled for sure. Yeah. Mentally, a lot of fear comes in for me, and I've dealt with it through a lot of just self-work and a lot of therapy and a lot of reflection, a lot of journaling. I know it sounds woo-woo.
No, it doesn't.
Meditation, just trying to always return back to my center and not let either affect me too much. I think also receiving too much praise is also poisonous. And letting the negativity infiltrate your brain is also poison. So I think it's trying to manage both of those and not listening to either as much. Take on the positive and like take it in your stride. But if you start believing, people throw around the word genius, and like it's like you can't take any of that on because it's just hyperbole.
I studied human behavior. Mentors would always say, don't take credit, don't take blame, just keep focus on chief aim. And that sounds like in a corporate side of world, but I did study that to help me be a dance studio owner because of managing staff and everything years ago. And it was all about don't get caught up in the highs, don't get caught up in the lows, just keep focus on what your purpose is and move forward. And that is hard. Okay.
Yes.
And I suppose, I don't know about you, but maybe it's the older you get, we're talking about wisdom, the easier it becomes because you're learning skills on how to identify when maybe if you get excited after job and then to maybe maintain being grounded through your meditation. So look, because you're right, the industry, especially in commercial, it can be a show and then nothing, then a show, then a show. And so it's not like you've got this 9 to 5 even Steven job either.
And even now, it's even crazier now because you've got social media, and I'm a bit of a slave to that thing too. Like, you get one post that goes so well, and the next one, like it's way more instant now. So it's like learning to manage that and trying to keep that at an arm's distance too is very challenging. But I think it's all about mind management and keeping grounded as much as possible, I think.
I love that. Thank you for speaking to that. And
Oh, of
on that
course.
subject, your constructive comments.
Yeah, here's the guy. There he
Can
is.
we do our close up on
There's
him?
my friend.
I love it. Yeah. So you created, I'm not sure how long ago, because I clued on maybe about
There he
6
is.
months ago of your,
And I got the two little ones up here too.
yeah, no,
Sorry.
and he was in the little, yeah, he was in the little statue, was in the last one, wasn't he? Or the one before.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
to me, as soon as I saw it, I thought this is such a genius way on how to handle or how to make light of, sometimes I'm sure you would get trolls or people just wanting to tear shreds
Yeah.
because you are actually doing so well. And unfortunately, that's the nature of the internet. But it's also really good mentorship. I'm not sure if you've thought about it for younger dancers. If they're scared of putting themselves out there, they're going, oh, wow, this is Stephen's actually handling this in a really constructive and fun way. How was this born? And yeah, tell me anything you want to share about your constructive comments series.
I just started to get some videos, like choreography videos that went like mega viral. Like I had one, you've seen my
Yeah,
conga
it's great.
choreography.
Yeah.
Well, there was one before that, but it was mainly that one, which that just, I don't know what it was. Like it's got 18 million views on TikTok and like 13 million on, like it's
That's
insanity.
insane.
Like, yeah, it's nuts. But with that comes a lot of negativity, a lot, just because it's just a numbers game at that point. Like, of course,
Yeah.
you're always, and I think really good work, or not good work, but really strong work is going to be polarizing no matter what you do. So I think both are important because I think that's the ecosystem of like creating work that has a strong point of view.
Yeah.
But I started to get all these comments and they were just hilarious to me. At first I was like, oh, this is a lot to take on. And I was getting quite a lot of them. But then I just really looked at it and I was like, these are just hilarious, first and foremost. And some of them I can't even think of what one is right now. You need to look like you're having more fun, and it needs to be more tropical. And just these ridiculous comments from people that know nothing about dance that just want to be heard.
Yeah.
So then one day I was like, you know what? Let's hear these people out. Let's if they're the experts, let's really take it on and let's push it and let's give them what they want. And I literally just set my camera up in the corner over here. It's still, my tripod's still set up there, actually. So it just stays there now because in case I get an idea and I just move this table away and get to it. I just had a day off and I filmed 2 of them and didn't really think anything of it. I thought they were pretty funny, but I was like, meh. And I edited one together and just posted it and it just went like gangbusters. Got like 400 comments or something in overnight. And then all of a sudden it was all anybody wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And then so I had another one in the can. So I was like, well, let's just put it out the next day.
Yeah.
Probably should have waited, but I'm pretty impatient. And then that one did the same. And then I realized I'd saved a lot of these comments because before that I was responding to them in a stupid way, which I don't think you should do really, but I was having fun with it. So I was like, whatever. So I had a lot of these comments in the chamber and I was like, oh, I can make something funny out of that, out of that, out of that. And the comedy in it just writes themselves, like, you know.
Oh, they're pretty funny. Well, that's the other one you did with a fairy butterfly or something.
Fairy butterfly.
Some username, and I was like, wow.
Oh, yeah. And like everything about it's funny. So I'm like, oh, this is too easy. He looks so gay. Like, so I just dressed up like a tradie and got a, you know.
And your mum, someone thought you had some high heels on, and was it?
Yeah.
Was that your mum's? Was it your mum?
No, my mum was like, I hope they're not my shoes because she's away. I
actually saw that comment.
Yeah, no, I actually bought those from Vinnie's, which is hilarious. Trying them on in the corner very sneakily. That one was, that was to Thong Song. She had dumps like a truck, thighs like what? And the comment was, I see no thighs like what? So I was like, I'll give you thighs like what then? I'll buy some hot shorts and some heels. Give you what you really want.
So creative.
Yeah, now it's the thing people want to talk about the most now, which is hilarious. But I think it's a good way to show that like these comments mean nothing. They mean nothing.
I think it's important. And I think my next question was, what does it mean to you to do that? And maybe you just answered it then. But
well, yeah, I didn't think about it at first. I just thought it was going to be a funny video. That's my goal is to make people laugh or like have some escapism, you know, whatever that may be. because that's what I need for myself,
And, you know, I mean, what's the alternative as well if we're going to take criticism too seriously?
Oh
You know,
yeah, you can't do
no.
it. You can't. It's a complete waste of time. And I've learned this the hard
Mm,
way. I'm speaking from learned experience.
mm,
So many times in my life where I was like, oh, this one person said this one thing about my choreography so I should maybe change it. And then it never works out. It never works out. You're then losing the root origin of what it is and the authenticity of what it is. And the only way you can make something that can truly be transcendent and have an impact on people, I think, is if it's coming from a place of authenticity. Yeah, that's the only chance you're giving yourself.
Speaking about that, what is your creative process from when you first get the idea to finish? What happens internally for you?
Usually I hear a piece of music that I just lock into and become obsessed
Mm,
with. And I just like listen to it like a song at the moment. The new Harry Styles
mhm.
song. I don't know if you've heard it, Dance No More.
Probably not.
It's really
But
cool.
maybe I have. I'm too busy with my 6-year-old listening to all the stuff he wants to listen to on the way to school.
Yeah, so
No,
you don't get your own
not at the
time with music.
moment. But yeah,
But I obsess over that, and then like the details in it, and like the
yeah.
intricacies in the musicality, and then I just play.
Mm,
Usually, I'll get another dancer, an assistant into the room, so I got someone to bounce ideas
mm,
off, or I'll just stand where I am right now, move my dining room table, and start
mm,
playing. And I just heard this saying from a rapper, Tyler the
mhm.
Creator,
Yep.
and he said, create like a child and edit like a scientist,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is really clever.
Mm,
So for me, that process just means make a draft and make it as big and as crazy and as wild as possible. Like just get in the sandpit and get dirty.
yep.
But you just get it out. Get it out. Whatever it is, first instinct always wins. Go. Then come back and then fine tooth comb. But you'll usually find if you create from that place, not a lot of editing has to take place. That's just my experience. You got to tidy things up and make a bit more clarity out of it. But I think if you can create from a place of there is no right or wrong, there's no expectation. Let's just go.
Yeah.
First answer wins. Whatever falls out of you, jump on it.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at currently with creativity.
I love hearing that. When you, in your evolution as a creator and choreographer, have you had moments where your inner critic might come in too early in the creative process to
Oh
try
yeah,
and edit too quickly and it stopped your
yeah.
creativity?
Oh my god, more often than
Okay,
not.
so does that still happen?
Yeah, yeah,
What do
yeah,
you
for
do
sure.
when it happens?
Walk away from it. If I have that luxury, you get to a point where it's like, what are we doing? What am I doing? It's not here today. If you can do that, great. Go out, go outside. Get yourself out of that environment. Go look at the sky for like just change of environment is everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have that luxury, I think you've got to still go outside for a second and take a bit of a debrief, take a bit of a second, and then come back to it. And sometimes you just got to push through it. But for me, I think it's like if you can get your head right by kind of recentering yourself. That's why I love to have someone in the room with me, though, because I think that can often get me out of that funk. Just someone to like,
Bounce ideas.
at least if I've planted a seed of an idea in their head, they can move with something. And then I've got, as opposed to it just being stuck in my body. Because a lot of times you're creating and you're like, it feels like I don't even know how to dance anymore. Because you're just like, and then you start questioning dance in general. You're like, what am I doing with my life? Like it just gets like, very, very hypercritical and weird.
Yeah.
So if you can have someone else just to be like, no, that's good. Let's explore that a bit more.
Yeah. And something which I've always noticed years ago when I first spotted you, would have been around So You Think You Can Dance, when you started choreographing, is you really do use all the intricate beats in the music and your whole body just goes to a place that I had at that time never seen before. And
Yeah.
now I'm seeing, lots of, this is my interpretation and I could be wrong, lots of people influenced by your work. As a creator, did you ever have a moment where you felt people were maybe copying and imitating? Have you ever had that, experienced that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was definitely a period. And you see it every now and then too. But I am never bothered by that stuff. Look, this is my personal opinion, and people find it disagree, whatever. I see a lot of people get really up in arms about and look, there is times when it's very it's wrong in general, of course, and if someone's profiting from work that's obviously, but if I'm seeing someone on the come up and they're just trying to find a voice and they're just teaching it to a little class, and it's obviously been inspired, I don't care.
I'm thinking more about
personally.
stuff I've seen living overseas and European companies, and I'm looking at certain choreographers going, oh, wow, that looks like Stephen Tannos' work. But that's probably where I'm coming from.
Oh, right.
I mean,
and look, the only person who loses in that exchange is that other person and their students. I think that's, and that's just, there's no longevity in that too. Like, I'll only ever create what I'm feeling in the moment, what I'm feeling at the time. I'm never trying to chase a trend or I can't do it. Even if I tried to and wanted to, I couldn't. And I think that's maybe why I've been able to do it for as long as I have. It's because all I'm ever doing is what feels right at the moment. And that changes, obviously, because I'm a human that changes and my taste changes and evolves and grows. And that's the best advice I can ever give an emerging creative. Just do what makes sense to you and what you feel. Because I guarantee all of my most, however you want to say it, revered moments, all my most popular, blah, 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 all of my biggest moments, every single one of them came from just true, honest, authentic in that moment. This is what I'm feeling. I'm not trying to please. I'm not trying to, it's not even it gets to the point where I think it's more valuable to not even think about your audience, if that makes sense. If you create from a place of trying to appease your audience, you actually end up giving them something that'll be far less relatable and exciting to them. So you're actually doing them I'm stealing this quote from another brilliant person named Rick Rubin, which, just give me 1 second. He's got this book right here.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you can see that.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a music producer that wrote a book about creativity. And that's the book there.
Yeah.
I always am quoting from it. Get it? Everyone get it. I recommend it a lot. But he says there's a whole chapter about not creating for your audience because you're doing them a disservice by doing that. People will respond to things that are authentic, and the only way things can be authentic is if it's coming from the person that is creating it, and only from that person.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. What have been some of the highlights of your career so far for you?
Oh, so many. Gosh. I think as a choreographer, and that's what I'll talk about because that's what my life is. Choreographing on So You Think You Can Dance, season 4. Yeah. God, what was that, 12 years ago? That was a huge moment for me. And that's when I really would put my work out there as a sole entity for the first time and got amazing feedback on it and felt that kind of drug, if you will. Pardon me, I just burped then. That was an accident. So sorry.
I can always edit anything out or we can keep it in.
Nah, keep it in. Boost the volume. That was a huge one. Choreographing for Rita Ora, the arias was amazing. Nice. Recently, I just did a big campaign for Gap Australia, which
looked amazing.
Thank you. That was the most recent thing. That was like a month ago. We wrapped that up, really, or 2. But yeah, I've been very lucky. Yeah. A lot of amazing jobs, and a lot of not so amazing jobs too.
Okay.
A lot of trial and error, a lot of understanding my boundaries, a lot of understanding what works, what doesn't work, a lot of learning what doesn't work more so, I think, especially working in television, and it doesn't get more stressful than that. Yeah. Learning how to manage that world because TV is just so quick. I worked on The Masked Singer for 4 or 5 seasons. And I did all the choreography, with Michelle Hopper and Cassie Buffer for some seasons as well. So we were responsible for all the choreography for the season. And most numbers had choreography in them. And it's just some days you're putting together 4 numbers and then at the same time you're putting one on stage and then having to change this number entirely because it doesn't work for camera and the costumes don't work. So you learn to not get attached to anything at all very quickly, and not to get your feelings hurt because none of it's personal, which is a different muscle entirely.
Yeah.
But a very important one, I think, as a choreographer too, to learn how to like adapt and fit the brief and fit it quickly. Okay, I love you. I love you can see this finger just in the corner right there, just right at me. I just realized that.
That's so good. Well, what advice do you have for young dancers hoping to build a career in the commercial or musical theatre sector?
Don't be too cool for anything. And by that, I mean, I think a lot of dancers now just want to do the one thing because it's the thing that is cool. Like they want to do the commercial heart theatre. Like I sounded so old, just said, oh my God. But you know what I mean? They want to do the thing right now because that's the thing that's everyone's doing. They're seeing all their favorite pop stars do it. Like, sure, be amazing at that. You already are. But work your butt off at all the other things that aren't as sexy.
Yeah.
Singing lessons, getting your chorus heels on, tap dance, like all of those things. Like they're all skills that are going to actually, if you don't have them, are going to hinder your chances at even doing the things that are cool. If you're not getting in that ballet class and working on your technique and learning how to take care of your body and do things correctly and safely, then you're not able to actually build these crazy and quirky things because it's not built on a foundation.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of dancers just want to go, the quick way around all the actual work that needs to be done.
Yep.
And there's just, again, no longevity in doing that. It's cool for now, but it's over as soon as it started.
And you also mentioned before, like circling back, because on the podcast we talk a lot about the ecosystem around the dancer and mindset. And I'm thinking about what you've learnt with regard to journaling, meditating, staying grounded. And then with regard to that part where the teenagers might be either leaving home to go full time or about to venture out, developing that muscle of maybe validating themselves without mum and dad so much in terms of going for that reference point, but starting to connect from within. I mean,
and also not trying to crave validation of others too.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Look, and I'm no spiritual guru. I'm no expert. I'm just saying what's worked for me. But I've found even just the practice of like getting up in the morning and I'm by no means perfect at this, but trying to stay away from this thing first thing in the morning. Again, didn't do it this morning. Sat on it for half an hour in my bed, if I'm being honest. But most days I can pull it off. Getting outside and, sitting on that. I got a little egg chair out there that I sit on at the sun with the sun hitting it, like sitting there, like closing my eyes for 5-10 minutes, and just getting ready for the day and trying to have my feet planted, and then doing a bit of journaling. Those have all been very, very crucial to me, and trying to reframe the way I talk to myself too. I think we're built to be hypercritical, especially as dancers, because it's never right. It's never perfect. It can always be better, and that's important. But I think we need to learn to not carry that through to our everyday lives, I think, and learn how to switch that off and understand that we're a human and that we're flawed and that we make mistakes and that life is difficult and there's many challenges around every corner and everyone's struggling in their own way. Learning how to manage that and be kinder to ourselves, I think, is crucial.
And, something which I spoke about it when we were practicing our little test, is you have a reputation of being a very kind human. And for those watching and listening, Stephen messaged me saying, Kate, I'm really sorry I'm going to be 5 minutes late. I'm just helping my elderly neighbour carry some things. And I just thought, what an awesome guy. And also from...
It sounds like such a fake excuse, but it was real.
Also, I did mention to Stephen, it was back in 2014, a choreographer had her 40th birthday and Sarah Bolter was there, and she was talking about what a beautiful, authentic human being Stephen is. And so,
nice. Love Sarah. Love Sarah.
Yeah, it is lovely. And that was 12 years ago. And so I think as well, kindness, our industry is quite small, right? Being kind and to others as well.
Oh, yeah. I think it's pays off in dividends, and that's the real magic. That's the real secret sauce to longevity, I think, is that before anything else.
Yeah.
Be kind to every single person, every interaction. Some people are, I'll try not to swear. Some people are beeped,
Yeah.
and you can just,
Yeah.
you don't have to be kind to, you can choose your people as well. But like, just be a good person. Just be easy to get along with. Just be personable. I get it, people get social anxiety and all this kind of stuff, but I think what's worked for me is I really want to try and connect with people as much as possible.
Yeah.
And it can be my downfall sometimes. I tend to give too much of myself away, and I'm learning how to be better at that as I get older too, because that's not sustainable either. I try to be as personable and spend time with people, and yeah, I think that goes a long way. I find this saying a little bit funny, but like it's a very true saying. Your reputation enters the room before you do. It's very true. And that's been proven to me time and time again, just from even being on the other side of things and casting dancers and seeing people's opinions of those dancers from past jobs come up and be like, well, can't use that person, even though they're the best person for the job. They're impossible to work with, or they're late all the time, or they're not very personable.
They
Like,
need to be team players, right? If they're going to work in a group.
Yep.
And
yep.
Yeah.
It's much more, I think it's more, there's so many talented dancers, but I think what you're trying to cast always is a group of good people from a pool of great dancers,
Yeah. Stephen, I have one final question, because this season is all about authenticity in dance. Like, what do you think has helped you be authentic? Because you are incredibly authentic in the maintaining your authenticity in the industry.
Oh, it's a good one. I think just for me, it's honestly been trial and error, and realizing that when I look back, all of my best moments and my favorite moments all came from that, and just analyzing the data, understanding that for me to be authentic and to be what is true to me in the moment is actually what also gives me the most amount of success and fulfillment. So why would I do anything else? Why?
Yeah.
It seems pointless.
And I'm hearing it sounds like you've got that level of self-trust, like, to be authentic.
Sometimes. At the moment I do. It's a good season right now, so no, I'm kidding. No, I do. I do. I think especially when it comes to, especially like my belief in myself as a person, I think is sometimes my belief in myself as a creative can have seasonal kind of waves, but I know at my core I'm a decent person, and that I think is, that's almost enough,
Well, thank you so much for sharing your humor, your wisdom, your intelligence and creative genius.
And my amazing looks.
And your amazing looks.
That's the thumbnail.
I love it.
Thank you. And I've got something very exciting coming up next year in January. I can't say what it is, but there'll be more info coming on that soon. So stay
if we
glued.
follow you, will we get the info?
You will. Oh, you will.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
You're most welcome. I appreciate it. Thanks, Kate.